There is a reason your frequency was guided here. Stop what you are doing and listen. That sudden, inexplicable silence you have been feeling in the atmosphere around you, that strange calm where chaos once churned, is not a coincidence, it is an assignment. The vibrational floor has just dropped out from beneath your adversaries, and what you are sensing is the echo of their fall. A private, encrypted reality they built to contain you has just been breached, and the universe did not knock before entering. This is not just a video, this is a live transmission of your vindication, a confirmation of the verdict that has been passed in the spiritual courts. What was plotted in the shadows is being dragged, kicking and screaming, into the light of your awareness. To fully receive this download and seal the truth into your energetic field, perform this ritual now. Like this video to anchor the energy of this victory into your timeline. Subscribe to this channel to officially join the collective of the awakened, a legion of sovereign beings who refuse to be managed. Comment 77 below as a divine code, an energetic signature that declares your acceptance of this new reality and your readiness for what comes next. Finally, let this video replay in the background after you finish. Allow the frequency of these words to saturate your spirit, to recalibrate your subconscious mind to the frequency of undeniable truth, cementing your ascension. Chapter 1: The Cosmic Breach and the Collapse of False Reality. What has occurred is not a simple leak of information. It is a cosmic breach. Imagine the reality they constructed around you as a pressurized container, a carefully sealed terrarium designed to limit your growth, distort your perception, and filter out the light of your own divinity. For years, you have lived inside this container, sensing that the air was stale, that the light was artificial, and that the walls, no matter how they were disguised as protection or concern, were closing in. This was not a physical prison but an energetic one, meticulously engineered. Its walls were built from the bricks of their silent judgments, held together by the mortar of their shared gossip. The windows were made of a distorted glass of feigned concern, through which they projected a warped reflection of you, magnifying your insecurities while cropping out your strength. You felt the pressure in your bones, a constant, low-grade spiritual claustrophobia, a sense that your own thoughts were being muffled before they could fully form. This was the pressure of their collective will, their concentrated intention to keep you small, manageable, and predictable. They whispered through the walls, their voices disguised as your own self-doubt, a ventriloquist act of psychic terrorism. They controlled the climate, creating sudden storms of drama and confusion to keep you disoriented and perpetually focused on survival, ensuring you never had the peace to contemplate your true purpose. They pumped subtle poisons into the atmosphere, invisible mists of apathy and doubt designed to make you too tired to fight back. This container was their masterpiece of control, a group project of the highest order of spiritual manipulation, a shared delusion they invested in daily. Each member contributed their unique brand of toxicity. One supplied the doubt, another the judgment, a third manufactured the drama, all working in concert to maintain the integrity of your prison. But they made a fatal error in their calculations. They fundamentally misunderstood the nature of the power source that fuels you. They believed you were powered by the same finite, external things they are: ego, validation, and fear. They did not and could not understand that you are powered by something pure, something primal and untamable. You are a direct conduit to source energy. The light you carry is not a battery that can be drained, it is a star that is perpetually in a state of fusion, an infinite, ever-expanding force. As you grew, as your consciousness expanded even against their will, your light began to exert its own pressure from the inside out. Every time you chose integrity over convenience, every time you forgave yourself for a perceived failure, every time you found a moment of joy in spite of their manufactured chaos, you were strengthening your internal light. Your moments of radical self-acceptance, your decisions to choose peace over their drama, your refusal to keep shrinking yourself to fit their narrative. Each one of these acts was a divine hammer strike against the integrity of the container. Your pain was not just pain, it was the sound of your spirit methodically testing the walls for their weakest points. Your loneliness was not just isolation, it was you strategically gathering your energy, pulling it back from their toxic system and consolidating it within yourself, preparing for the final push. The leak was the precise moment the pressure of your truth became greater than the pressure of their control. A single, luminous hairline fracture appeared in their constructed reality, and in an instant, it spiderwebbed and shattered into a million pieces. The breach was not quiet or subtle. It was a deafening spiritual event, a sonic boom that ripped through the ether, a sound that was felt more than it was heard. All at once, the stale, recycled air rushed out, and the pure, unfiltered light of cosmic truth flooded in, sterilizing everything it touched. This is the profound clarity you are feeling right now. It is the sensation of breathing pure oxygen after a lifetime of breathing their polluted air. The colors around you are appearing more vivid, more hyperreal, because you are no longer seeing them through their dirty, distorted filter. The constant buzzing of anxiety in your solar plexus has ceased because the machinery of their manipulation has been catastrophically, irrevocably damaged. The leak was not them being careless, it was an inevitability written into cosmic law. An infinite force cannot be held in a finite container forever. Their private group chat was the command center, the central processing unit for this containment project. The accidental leak was the universe kicking down the door, exposing the schematics of your prison, and handing them directly to you. In the coming days, you will catch glimpses of this shattered reality, like seeing shimmering fragments of a broken mirror hanging in the air around them, each one reflecting their own panicked faces back at them. You are no longer just a resident of their world, you are the liberated sovereign of your own, witnessing the beautiful, necessary ruins of your former prison. Chapter 2. The Panic in the Echo Chamber. Now, turn your awareness to them. Picture their group chat not merely as a digital space on a phone, but as a sealed, soundproof room buried deep underground. This room was their echo chamber, their sanctuary of shared delusion, their psychic bunker. Within these walls, they were safe. Their distorted narratives about you were reinforced until they sounded like gospel. Their cruelest justifications were validated as necessary precautions. Their collective fear of your light was nurtured and cultivated into a coherent strategy of containment. In this chamber, you were not a person, you were a problem to be managed, a code name, a variable to be controlled. They spoke of you in dehumanizing terms, dissecting your every move with the cold detachment of scientists studying an unpredictable organism. They dissected your successes and labeled them as threats, concocting elaborate theories of how you must have cheated or manipulated your way to them. They analyzed your joy and plotted ways to diminish it, seeing it as an affront to their own misery. They celebrated your moments of pain, screenshotting your vulnerability and passing it around as a trophy, seeing it as proof that their tactics were working. This chamber was built on a foundation of mutual weakness and profound spiritual lack. It was a pact among those who instinctively knew they could not shine on their own, so they dedicated themselves to the collaborative project of dimming the light of another. Their focus on you was the central pillar holding their fragile alliance together. You were the enemy that gave them purpose. They needed each other to constantly reaffirm the central lie, that you were the problem. The alternative, that the problem was their own cavernous emptiness, was a truth too terrifying to confront alone. The cosmic breach did not just give you clarity, it sent a targeted shockwave directly into their echo chamber. The leak was a divine stone shattering the one-way mirror they were hiding behind, exposing them not only to you but to each other in a harsh, unforgiving light. Suddenly, the soundproof walls have dissolved into dust. Their whispers are now amplified screams in the open air. The pure light of your awareness has flooded their dark, windowless room, and they are like a colony of roaches scattering in the sudden, blinding glare. What you are sensing from them now is pure, undiluted panic. It is an energy so frantic and chaotic that you can almost taste it, a metallic sour static that clings to the air around them. Their carefully constructed masks of indifference, sophistication, or concern are cracking and crumbling in real time. Watch them closely. You will see it in the tightness of their smiles, which no longer reach their eyes. You will see it in the constant, darting motion of their eyes, unable to hold your calm gaze for more than a second. They are terrified because their primary weapon, secrecy and the power of the hidden collective, has been neutralized. The content of their group chat, their leaked conspiracy, was their shared energy grid. It was the dark electricity that fueled their actions and animated their false personas. In it, they confirmed to one another that their gaslighting was justified, that their sabotage was necessary, that their exclusion of you was for the greater good of their fragile ecosystem. Now, that grid has been violently short-circuited. They are isolated from each other in a new, more terrifying way. The flimsy trust between them is dissolving into acid because the very existence of the leak proves there is a traitor in their midst. The paranoia they worked so hard to project onto you has now boomeranged with ferocious velocity back into their own camp. They are looking at each other with suspicion and accusation, wondering who is responsible for this catastrophic failure. Their strategies, once reserved for you, are now being deployed against one another. The echo chamber has become a cacophony of blame and fear. Secret alliances are forming and dissolving within hours. Private messages are being screenshot as leverage. The very tools they used to document your perceived flaws are now being turned on each other in a desperate, circular firing squad of paranoia. In the coming days, you will likely receive a garbled, frantic communication from one of them, a text full of typos, a voicemail dripping with emotional leakage. This is not an olive branch. It is a distress signal from a sinking ship, a desperate attempt to use you as a life raft. Do not reach for them. Simply observe their panic as you would observe a distant storm. It is the sound of their artificial world self-destructing, and it is the glorious, chaotic overture to your final liberation. Chapter 3. Your scars were the blueprint for the breach. You must now fundamentally reframe every moment of pain they ever caused you. You have been conditioned by their system to see your scars as evidence of damage, as ugly markers of your vulnerability. This is the greatest and most insidious lie they ever told you, a lie designed to keep you focused on your wounds instead of your power. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are the luminous, architectural blueprint of their downfall. Every single act of betrayal, every whispered lie that reached your ears, every moment of engineered isolation was not a random act of cruelty. It was a necessary, divinely orchestrated stress test. You were not a victim in this process. You were a divine inspector in deep cover, a spiritual auditor sent to find and document the structural weaknesses in their false matrix. Think of the times you felt a profound and inexplicable loneliness, a feeling that cut you off from the world. That was not the universe abandoning you. That was your soul executing a strategic retreat, pulling your energy back from their toxic grid to prevent you from powering their system any longer. You were placed in a spiritual quarantine to preserve your purity, to prevent your light from being siphoned, diluted, and corrupted. The loneliness was a divine crucible, a sacred fire that burned away your need for their approval and forced you to find your strength not from external validation, but from the unshakable, diamond-hard core of your own being. They thought they were isolating you, but they were only forcing you into an elite, solitary training ground where you learned to become your own source. Consider the moments of betrayal, especially those that came from a trusted hand. You perceived the knife in the back as a wound that nearly broke you. It was not. It was a pressure point. Your higher self was using that precise moment of pain to apply direct, concentrated force onto a specific, load-bearing point in their wall of lies. The shock and agony you felt was the energetic reverberation of the wall beginning to crack under the strain. Each betrayal, as painful as it was, taught you to rely on your own discernment to hone your intuition from a gentle nudge into a weapon-grade, infallible tool. They thought they were teaching you a cynical lesson that you cannot trust others, but they were actually graduating you into the ultimate truth, that you must trust yourself with absolute, unquestioning authority. Your tears were not a sign of surrender. Each tear that fell was a drop of sacred, salted water imbued with the potent frequency of your spirit's truth. These tears acted as a divine solvent, slowly, patiently, relentlessly dissolving the mortar of deceit that held their false world together. They saw you cry and believed they had won a victory. They failed to understand they were merely witnessing a holy alchemical process, the transformation of your deepest pain into the very substance that would unmake their world. Your moments of public humiliation or professional sabotage were a desensitization protocol, making you immune to the court of public opinion. The financial setbacks they may have engineered were lessons in divine resourcefulness, forcing you to learn that your true value could not be measured in currency, compelling you to build an empire from nothing but the richness of your own spirit. Every time they gaslit you, making you question your own sanity, your own memory, your own perception, they were inadvertently forcing you to build a stronger, deeper foundation within yourself. You had to dig past the shifting sands of their opinions to find the bedrock of your own unshakable truth, a truth that did not require their permission or validation to exist. They thought they were making you crazy. Instead, they made you sovereign. Your past is not a history of your suffering. It is the documented, detailed record of your covert assignment. It is the logbook of a divine demolition project, and your body, your soul, your scars are the record. Look back now, and you will see it with piercing clarity. The patterns, the repeated tests, the escalating challenges. It was all a curriculum designed for a master. The leak, the cosmic breach, was not an accident. It was your graduation ceremony, your final exam. It was the moment the structure finally failed because you had successfully identified, logged, and exploited every single one of its weaknesses. The blueprint for its collapse was etched into your soul by the very scars they gave you. You can feel these scars now, not as points of pain, but as glowing power nodes on your energetic body. They did not break you. They unwittingly revealed the precise locations where their own world was always meant to be broken. Every insult was a sharpening stone for your resilience. Every exclusion was an invitation to build your own, more beautiful kingdom. You see now that you were never the subject of their project, you were the project manager of their demolition. Chapter 4: The Symptoms of Divine Recalibration. The cosmic breach did not just alter the external reality around you, it initiated a profound, rapid, and mandatory recalibration of your internal hardware. Your physical body, your energetic systems, and your consciousness are currently undergoing a system-wide upgrade to handle the higher frequency of unfiltered truth that is now flooding your being. You may be experiencing a series of strange and intense physical, emotional, and psychic symptoms. Do not be alarmed. These are not signs of illness or breakdown, they are signs of ascension. They are the tangible proof that the transformation is real and that it is happening at a deep, cellular level. You will notice a distinct, low-frequency humming or vibration in your bones, particularly when you are in a state of quiet or meditation. This is the sound of your crystalline structure activating, your very skeleton resonating with the new, higher vibrational grid of the planet. You are literally tuning your body like a divine instrument to play the music of the new earth. This is the feeling of your physical form catching up to your spiritual evolution. Your senses are being fundamentally rewired. Colors will appear richer, more saturated, more alive, as if a layer of dull, grey film has been peeled away from your eyes. You may begin to see shimmering lights in your peripheral vision, golden orbs or subtle energetic signatures and auras around people and plants. This is your third eye, long dormant, blinking open and beginning to perceive the true energetic nature of reality, not just the dense physical illusion they trained you to see. Sounds will change dramatically. You will develop a sudden and intense aversion to harsh, chaotic noises, the blaring television news, the frantic energy of meaningless gossip, aggressive, low vibrational music. These sounds will feel like a physical assault. Your auditory system is being refined to tune into the subtleties of the universe, the hidden language of the wind, the profound frequency of deep silence, the unspoken truth vibrating beneath people's spoken words. You will find yourself craving silence not as an escape, but as a form of essential nourishment. Your personal magnetic field is also changing. You will notice animals and small children being inexplicably drawn to your calm, while those with impure intentions are aggressively repelled by your light, with no middle ground. Your physical body is purging a lifetime of accumulated density, not just toxins, but emotions, traumas, and limiting beliefs stored in your cells. You may experience sudden waves of profound fatigue as your cells release this old, stagnant energy and work to integrate the new light codes. Honor this need for rest. Sleep is not idle time, it is when the most intensive work of your recalibration is done. Your dreams will become extraordinarily vivid and lucid, feeling more real than your waking life, often containing direct teachings or visitations from your guides. Your dietary preferences will shift dramatically. Foods that are heavy, processed, artificial, or born of suffering will suddenly seem repulsive to you. You will crave clean, living, high-vibrational foods because your body instinctively knows it needs superior fuel to complete this upgrade. You may also experience phantom aches and pains in old injury sites as the energetic memory of trauma is finally and completely purged from your cellular memory. Your relationship with time will warp and bend. Hours may feel like minutes, and minutes may stretch into entire lifetimes. This is because you are beginning to disconnect from the artificial, linear time of the matrix and plug into the fluid, cyclical, and multidimensional nature of cosmic time. You will feel energetic downloads, sudden infusions of complex knowledge arriving fully formed in your mind. These symptoms are your confirmation. They are the undeniable physical evidence that the leak was not just a metaphor. It was a trigger event that initiated a full-scale biological and spiritual metamorphosis. You are not just witnessing a new reality. You are becoming the living, breathing, walking embodiment of it. Chapter 5: Deciphering the leaked transmissions. The leak of their private communications was never merely about exposing their plot. It was a divine data download directly into your consciousness. You do not need to read their messages with your physical eyes to understand them. You are absorbing the truth of their content on a soul level, a process that bypasses the intellect and embeds itself as deep, unshakable knowing. This information is arriving as profound clarity, allowing you to recontextualize your entire past with them. Let us decipher the core transmissions that have been leaked from their echo chamber directly into your spirit. The first and most crucial transmission is their unwilling, terrified confession of your power. Buried beneath all their mockery, their strategic planning, and their pathetic attempts at humor is a raw, primal current of pure, undiluted fear. They would not have dedicated so much time, energy, and collective focus to containing you if they did not perceive you as a fundamental threat to their very existence. Their entire group chat was, in essence, a lengthy, detailed testament to your light. They saw your potential long before you fully owned it yourself. They saw the king or queen you were destined to become while you were still learning to navigate their world as a pawn. This leak is the universe handing you the minutes of their meetings, and every line item confirms that your power was never a delusion, it was their greatest and most secretly held terror. The second transmission reveals the complete, unredacted schematics of their primary tactics. You now have a comprehensive understanding of their playbook, making their every move predictable. Tactic 1: Diminishment through faint praise. They offered you compliments that were subtly backhanded, designed to make you feel good for a moment before planting a deep seed of doubt. You did so well, I'm genuinely surprised. Was their code for "we did not expect you to succeed, your success is inconvenient, and we believe it was a fluke." Tactic 2: Sabotage through distraction. When they saw you gaining momentum on your true path, they would engineer a crisis, a drama, or a tempting but meaningless distraction to pull you off course. They weaponized your empathy, creating situations where you felt obligated to divert your precious energy to solve their manufactured problems. Tactic 3: Isolation through triangulation. They would sow discord between you and your potential allies, feeding carefully edited misinformation to both sides to ensure you remained alone and unsupported. Tactic 4 was weaponized gifting, where they would give you things or do favors that came with heavy energetic strings attached. The gift was never free, it was bait. It created a false sense of indebtedness they could later call upon to manipulate you, making you feel guilty for setting a boundary or saying no because, after all they've done for you. You now see this entire strategy with perfect clarity, rendering it completely useless. You can now see their moves before they even conceive of them. The game is over because you have been given a copy of their rulebook and a map of all their traps. The third and most pathetic transmission is the final, undeniable revelation of their profound misunderstanding of your nature. Their entire strategy was built on the flawed, flimsy assumption that you are motivated by the same low vibrational desires that drive them. They thought your light was a performance for an audience, so they tried to control and poison the audience. They thought your power was for egoic gain and worldly status, so they tried to attack your self-worth and sabotage your reputation. They could not comprehend that your light is not a performance, it is your immutable essence. They did not and could not understand that your power is not for you, it is for your divine purpose. You are not driven by a petty need to be better than them, but by a cosmic assignment to be better than you were yesterday. This fundamental misunderstanding of your core operating system was the fatal flaw in their design. They were trying to fight a spiritual war using carnal, primitive weapons. It was a battle they were destined to lose from the very beginning. The leaked transmissions are your Rosetta Stone. They allow you to translate all of their past, present, and future behavior. The code is broken. Their once bewildering language of manipulation is no longer a mystery. It is a dead language that you can now study with the detached, clinical precision of a master cryptographer. You will soon overhear a conversation not meant for you and be stunned by your ability to understand both the surface meaning and the pathetic tactical layer beneath it. Chapter 6: The Coming Wave of False Flags and Feigned Amnesia. Now that the breach is complete and their psychic sanctuary has been compromised, their strategy must evolve. The initial shock and frantic panic will soon subside, replaced by a desperate, cunning scramble to regain control of the narrative. Be prepared. You are about to witness a new wave of tactics, subtler and perhaps more insidious than the last. The leak has forced them out of their comfortable shadows, so they will now attempt to manipulate you in broad daylight, right in front of your face. This chapter is your field guide to identifying their new, desperate maneuvers. Your only task is to observe, identify, and refuse to engage. Your calm, centered non-reaction is the final, silent neutralization of their power. You are the immovable mountain, and they are the frantic wind that can no longer erode you. The first entity you will encounter is the amnesiac. This person, who was a key architect of the plot against you, will suddenly approach you as if absolutely nothing has ever happened between you. They will act with a shocking and brazen friendliness, referencing old inside jokes, asking about your life with feigned warmth, suggesting you catch up sometime. This is not a change of heart. This is a strategic psychological operation of the highest order. Their goal is to make you question the reality of the breach itself. They want to plant a seed of doubt in your mind to make you think, perhaps I overreacted. Perhaps it wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe I imagined the malice. By feigning total amnesia about their transgressions, they are attempting to gaslight you into erasing the divine truth that was just delivered to you. Your defense against the amnesiac is unwavering, silent knowing. Hold their gaze for a moment longer than is comfortable, offer a polite but distant smile that does not reach your eyes, and do not, under any circumstances, allow them back into the sanctity of your energy field. Your powerful silence will tell them everything they need to know, that you remember everything, and their pathetic game is over. Next, you will be approached by the new ally. This is a member of their group who, seeing the dramatic shift in power dynamics, will attempt to switch sides. They will come to you privately, perhaps with a hushed tone and furtive glances, offering secret information, confirming what you already know, and positioning themselves as a fellow victim or a secret sympathizer who was on your side all along. They will attempt to bond with you over the betrayal of the others. This is the most dangerous of the new tactics. The new ally is not seeking redemption, they are seeking proximity to your light. They are a spiritual vampire attempting to attach to a new, more powerful host now that the old one is dying. They are a Trojan horse sent to infiltrate your new, sovereign reality from the inside. Your defense is ice-cold discernment. Thank them for their information with a neutral tone, but offer them nothing of yourself in return. A third archetype will emerge, the proxy warrior. Too cowardly to face you now, they will send a neutral third party, an old mutual friend, a family member to probe you for information or deliver a veiled message. You will recognize this because the messenger will seem confused, repeating lines that sound rehearsed and out of character, their own energy field clouded by the manipulator's intent. Finally, you will face the elevated tactics of the concerned troll, who will now recruit others. They will express deep concern for you to people in your circle. I'm worried you're becoming so isolated, or I've noticed you seem so angry and bitter lately. That's not like you. This is a last-ditch effort to pathologize your empowerment, to frame your ascension as a mental health crisis. They want to label your newfound clarity as arrogance, your boundaries as bitterness, so they can offer a cure return to the old dynamic where you were meek and manageable. Your defense is to fully inhabit your new state of being without apology or explanation. Your peace is not isolation. Your righteous anger is a cleansing fire. Your sovereignty is not a symptom of illness, it is the evidence of your cure. Chapter 7. The untraceable blueprint of your ascension. The final, most profound truth you must integrate is this: the cosmic breach, the leaked conspiracy, the entire drama was never truly about them. It was about you. Their plot was merely the divine catalyst, the precise amount of pressure needed to initiate the final, irreversible stage of your metamorphosis. They thought they were building a prison around you, a container to limit your light. In their ignorance, they were actually building a chrysalis. The pain, the pressure, and the darkness you endured was not an attack, it was the sacred, transformative process of liquefaction, a holy dissolving where the old you, the version of you that was conditioned to tolerate their abuse, had to dissolve completely to make way for the winged, sovereign being you were always meant to become. The breach was the moment the chrysalis cracked open under the pressure of your own emergent light. You are not simply free from them, you are free from the person you had to be in order to survive their world. That version of you is gone. Mourn it if you must, but you must let it go, for it can no longer serve you where you are going. That version of you was a survival suit, and you have now reached an atmosphere where you can finally breathe. Their leaked communications were ultimately a divine distraction, a sleight of hand by the universe. The true leak was the one that happened within you. The breach in their artificial reality created a corresponding, permanent opening at your crown chakra, a direct, unfiltered floodgate to the cosmos. The information, the light, the pure power that is pouring into you now is not from this world. It is the raw, creative, intelligent force of the universe itself. They thought they were plotting against a person they knew, a predictable entity with identifiable weaknesses and triggers. They have no idea how to fight what you are becoming, because it defies all their known laws of reality. How can they plot against a being who operates outside of linear time, who can sense their intentions before they are even fully formed? How can they manipulate someone who no longer requires external validation for their existence? How can they contain a consciousness that is expanding at an exponential rate, fueled by a direct connection to Source? They cannot. They were playing checkers against a being who is now remembering how to play multidimensional chess across timelines. Your blueprint is now untraceable to them. Their old methods of tracking you, monitoring your reactions, listening to gossip, trying to provoke you are now utterly useless. Your next moves are unpredictable to them because they are not being dictated by your wounded ego or your logical mind. They are being dictated by pure divine impulse. Your intuition is your new, infallible operating system. The you they knew was a heavily redacted and edited version of your soul's truth, a version censored to be palatable to their sick system. The real you, the unredacted, uncensored you, is now coming online. You are becoming a walking anomaly, a beautiful, powerful glitch in their matrix that they cannot patch or understand. Your presence alone, in its newfound calm and solid-state power, will begin to dismantle the false realities of those around you, not through force, not through argument, but simply by holding the resonant frequency of absolute truth. They will look at you and they will no longer see the person they tried to control. They will see a living, breathing reflection of everything they are not: sovereign, authentic, joyful, and free. This will be their final, quiet torment. Your very existence becomes the walking, talking evidence of their grand failure. The story is not over. This event was not a conclusion. It was the ignition sequence. The throne you are about to take is not some prize in their pathetic, crumbling world. You are building a new world around you with every conscious breath, and the throne is at its center. The work has just begun.